Mm.
And you've come and gone many times and come back. Um, but while on the other side, are there levels of angels? And if so,
Mm.
what level were you? And is there any kind of governance? For example, you were saying
Mm.
if people are, they can still be cruel psychologically, emotionally. So, because I think that oftentimes, the masses, when they think about angels and they
Right.
think about the other side, it's like that side. I mean, we know there's good and bad in the universe. There's good and bad. There's angels can be good and bad. We know in the Bible there's Lucifer, and he was a fallen angel.
Mm.
There's these stories and these myths, Michael the archangel,
Mm-hmm.
and things of that
Sure.
nature. So, like, what can you speak to the levels of angels?
Sure. So this whole idea that you're talking about, the level of angels, and is there a hierarchy over there of angels? And we talked about this briefly, notion of cruelty potentially happening anywhere on this side or that side. And that implies, yes, hierarchy. Yes, a desire to feel more important than another person. Excuse me. That's where this idea of hierarchy comes from, um, in terms of that type of thing. I'm not saying hierarchy is not useful in a business structure or in a political structure. And certain you can't have everything flat. So that may be helpful in terms of management. But hierarchy in terms of power becomes an issue when powerful people don't have other people's interests at heart. And that's when this possibility of cruelty, of trying to make oneself more important than the other, feel more important than the other, and making another person therefore feel smaller when one feels powerless, can come into play. But to answer your question on the other side, in terms of hierarchies, yeah, there are hierarchies on the other side. And think about it. If you don't have a body, you don't have to eat, you don't have to sleep, you don't have to go to work, you don't have a job, you don't have to make money. All of these pressures that cause us stress and strain, and even if they don't cause us stress and strain, some of them cause us great enjoyment. Some people love going to work, etc. But all of that eats up our energy and certainly requires focus of our mind, let's say. All of that doesn't exist on the other side. You don't have to eat. You don't have to sleep. You don't have to buy music. You just want music. Boom, the music's playing. You don't have to go to work. So what do you do with all that time is the point. Your mind plays games, various kinds of games, fun games, you name it kind of games. Games where, oh, I have more friends than you do, games. I have more people working for me over here on this side than you do. Hierarchy starts coming in. Now, there may also be hierarchy over there from a management standpoint, just like hierarchy may be necessary from a business standpoint. But there's a lot of other hierarchies over there, I'm just saying, because if you imagine, just kind of imagine a world here where we didn't have to work, where we didn't have to eat, where we didn't have to sleep. With all that time in a physical body, what would be going on? All kinds of stuff, but there'd be a lot of mental stuff going on. A lot of mental playing around going on. Now, we have bodies, so there would be a lot of physical playing around going on too, but a lot of mental playing around going on. And that happens on the other side, good and bad. Not all bad, but yeah, lots of hierarchy, lots of hierarchies. Um, I think the real core message, though, out of all of this, in terms of the other side, angels, hierarchies, so forth, is that it doesn't matter to us if we're a strong individual where if we go to the other side, we're on this side, we're in a hierarchy. I mean, just think about it. If you're a strong individual in a big organization on this side, in a physical body, human form, you can be just as happy being a low person on a totem pole as somebody way up in the hierarchy. Because that's internally driven. It's not, they can do whatever they want to you, and if they want to make your life miserable from a managerial standpoint, then you go to a different job. If it gets really bad, you can just change. But the point is, it's internally driven. You can externally make a change, or you could stay in that and just find a way internally not to be affected by that because you're so strong inside. Same thing on the other side. So even if there are hierarchies on the other side, it's nothing to be fearful of because, again, we strengthen ourselves inside. Doesn't matter what's going on. We can handle anything. That's the key. And again, that's the essential message. That is the important essential message.